the issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call some numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, come this out. And I tell you, another Monday from here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, where we sit and broadcast. I'd like to say welcome to a fresh edition of the program Diaspora Talk with me and Cyrus McGee and my colleague Ditton Charles. Together we are here on this wonderful Monday. It's a hot Monday here in Minnesota, and I tell you, we are summer ready indeed. You know, the city is hot. Everywhere is getting so beautiful and wonderful to be out there. So I'd like to say thanks for joining us wherever you find yourself, whether it's at home in Liberia or in the diaspora. I'd like to say welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time may be in your area you are joining us from. It's welcome, man. It's a very, very hot Monday, like I said.
It's hot looking at the weather, not politically.
Yeah, weather-wise, it's kind of very, 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 very hot. And how was the weekend?
It was fantastic, a moment for relaxation. And Saturday weather was unpredictable. The rain, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, we are about to celebrate summer." I mean, enter into summer and rain is still coming. Spring is still jumping in and out. So indeed, it's good to be back. May is indeed interesting month for me. Historical things happen to me in May. So whenever we enter into May, I always reflect on those years. It's been like 11 years since I came out of the University of Liberia.
Yeah, I think I just saw that photograph on the weekend, you know, a memory of your class photo. And I say, wow, you know, the years come and go so fast. And I don't know, what other reflection?
And capturing the President of Liberia Human Rights Award in Liberia in May, I mean, at the end of April, because they do that ceremony in May. That's another achievement, giving voice to the voiceless, covering our stories. And so May has been a very good month for me. And one of my sister's birthdays also today. Myron Wright would say a shout out to you. Her birthday is today. So indeed, this May is also Mother's Day in May. People observe mothers, pay homage to the mother. So my beloved mother, Rosalind, Ian Charles, too. She's also to be remembered, and my aunt who read me, the late Gladys Cecilia Bardia. So indeed, May is just indeed a fantastic month for me.
And I can tell you that that's one thing we also share in common. You know, our mothers, and then have our aunts, you know, giving us opportunity, you know, in our culture. Our aunts are also our mothers. So there are a lot of women out there who are playing great roles in the lives of many, many, many children, whether biological children or, you know, whether they are stepchildren, they are adopted kids. There are a lot of women out there who are showing love to those young people who need love and attention. And I'd like to shout it out as well to all the mothers out there. If I start to name the mothers, you know, there are a lot who play important roles in my life up to present. You know, there are a lot of them out there. You know, we'd like to say happy Mother's Month to all of you wonderful women across the world. And there are a lot of things happening in Liberia. There are a lot of things, and there's a major decision-making year for our country. Political wise, we've seen two of the major parties already announce their running mates, including President George Weah and Vice President Joe Howard Taylor. They said they are making it back to the campaign as a team. We also see former Vice President Joseph Newman Boyka announcing, Senator Jeremiah Bakun of Nimba County, hoping on the Nimba votes, because the Nima vote is like Nima is the second most populated county in our country next to Monserrado. Then before we can count Bon County, coming third. But we're still looking and waiting to see the numbers of people that will register from those counties. Nimba Kun is from Nimba. Also, Tewan Se Gonglo is from Nimba. The broom man. He spoke this morning as it relates to inflation, the monetary situation in the country. He took a shot at the speaker, taking money to the southeastern part of Liberia, talking about people shouldn't use money to buy votes. We will bring an excerpt of that. So there are a lot taking place. And the National Elections Commission re-echoed that they are not going to extend the voters registration process as being called for by a lot of people out there. The NEC chair spoke this morning, giving an update on the biometric voter registration process, where they are. And we will also delve into Malgibi, where former presidential Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, former Minister Nathaniel McGill, was over there receiving petition from first-time voters in Malgibi County. And of course, he took a shot at some of his former colleagues that are in government, saying that they will not be reappointed when President Weah is re-elected. Why? We will also be listening. So there are a couple of excerpts that we will be playing, maybe taking shot at some of the things that they are saying in those, recordings. And of course, President Weah in London. All the weekend, it just reminded me of Sophia in London.
The coronation of King Charles.
Yeah, the coronation of King Charles.
After 75
years. He watched this as a kid or as a young man. When his mother was Queen Elizabeth was crowned.
She was just 25 years.
25 years.
And we read that in history, Cyrus. So to see that moment.
And I can tell you, sorry for the disturbance there. I can tell you that it was a very, very colorful one indeed. And President Weah was the talk of the town, in our social space. Liberians taking the shot, the opposition, on there. He went to London. What was he doing there? There were claims and counterclaims that he was not officially invited. He probably just took a spree with his government officials to go and party. And this video I saw this morning circulating social media of the president in the coronation hall. So that, I think, might have laid all of the concerns or comments to rest. And there are a lot of things, but let's take this very
and NAFA boss Emma Glasgow.
Yeah. Emma Glasgow, she's cutting barriers.
Southeastern part of Liberia, talking, engaging the fishing communities, providing nets and other things,
safety gears for fishermen and their people.
And these are the sectors that are on or that are overlooked because they feel like they nothing, but she has helped revive that sector and engaging people. And I saw some of the videos, you don't see most of our director generals, our ministers engaging the ordinary, having that conversation. And I could see people expressing their issues.
Yeah.
And she finding a way to redress it immediately. This is the way we want to see, and our ministers or deputies engaging with the public. Not sit down there when they go in the towns. Maybe they only have the heads.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to talk to the heads.
I wouldn't want to see the superintendent. I want to see just the town chief.
And again, having that open discussion, it gives the public a fair appreciation of what you are doing, because when people know the camera on, they can talk in that kind of thing. And when you can be brave to answer them in front camera, it's important as compared to the back doors or enclosed rooms. So it's indeed engaging the media and letting the people
and she's media friendly. She's media friendly, and everywhere she is with media people, exposing what she's doing and taking questions from journalists, whether in the field or on the radio. She's open to them. And hats up to Emma, man. You are a rock star in your area. But we will come back and we will bring you some of those videos and have some discussion on this edition of the Diaspora Talk And we say thanks to the Park Liquor Outlet, one of our sponsors of this program. If you are out there, a business person, you want to do same, let us know. We will show indeed promote your goods and services. But let's take this very quick break. We will be right back.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zane Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kent. Welcome to Brooklyn Chiropractic. Come to Brooklyn Chiropractic if you're having any back or neck pain. Especially, we specialize in treating people in auto and work-related injuries. We've been established here in Brooklyn Center for the last 14 years. And one of the pleasures that I have is helping out in the community. We've sponsored a lot of events throughout the years in the community, and we really appreciate being a part of the community. So if you're experiencing any pain, give us a try. If you want a drug-free way to get better. Thank you.
And I tell you, as you can see there, that was the video we just spoke of. I will play that again. It's about 30 seconds, just 30 seconds of President George Weah, they're in a coronation hall, the coronation ceremony of King Charles the Third. I want to call him Prince. He's not Prince anymore. He's King. Let's play that again. So that's it right there, President Weah in that coronation hall. Nathan, amidst all of the claims, the counterclaims, the criticism, everybody wanting to know where the president was, because the last time we saw him publicly was when he left his hotel, boarding that vehicle. According to his media team, to a meeting, of officials. We did not see him on that picture that came out, not knowing that it was a picture, supposedly, or what we understood later was a photo up with Commonwealth leaders, and Liberia is not a Commonwealth country. Now we see President Weah, even though struggling, to have his video taken. It's at some point it's upside down, it's one-sided. But the fact is, I'm in a shot. I'm here in the hall. I'm flanked by, First Lady Cloud Mary Weah. We are at this ceremony. What do you think, such a video was out there for?
I mean, the thing is, let me just give some important history of this day, which was held on Saturday. King Charles III was crowned, and his mother died, Queen Elizabeth. So he he assumed power. Elizabeth II, he assumed power since September 8th, 88 months. He assumed power into becoming king of the British and North Ireland region, that the kingdom there. So he's going to be superseding a large group of people. And this is very historic because the United States president, first lady, was there, and she described the event as beautiful. She said the pageantry was such amazing, and and King Charles, who is 74, and his wife Queen Camille, who is 75, has returned, to Buckingham Palace. So if you go to London, I remember I went to London, in southern part of London, where the palace is, and look, people just want to go around the gate to take pictures. It's a historic moment, and just want to. You can't even see the.
It's like you go to DC. Everybody wants to take a photograph in front of the White House,
and it's beautiful. So indeed, that ceremony was there. So history has been made. Queen Elizabeth II, is no longer. King Charles now is that new person, the king, and indeed world leaders. Look, so President it was an opportunity for Liberia to to even be represented at that event. So, like you said, yes, indeed, there were a couple of reports coming out because pictures tell stories, but are all pictures factual? Sometimes you don't know the intent with modern technology and other stuff. People manipulate pictures, but again, at certain times, certain people go to certain event and take certain kinds of picture because based on the group. So we are hearing that indeed it was Commonwealth leaders who took pictures with the British king at that moment. Indeed, President Weah, because you want to prove that you are there, so you will hold yourself. It's a historical moment, even for him.
Yeah,
As a president,
to have seen that for
his
himself.
grandchildren, to keep that for his grandchildren, and great grandchildren, Tim Weah and other people say, "Man, dad was there," and stuff like that. So indeed, it was a historic moment for him and for Liberia to be represented, because just in that hall you meet different leaders, and you interacting with them. People get to know your country. I think you have gone to different couple of events just from saying, "Oh, where you from?" "Oh, I'm from Liberia," right? People get to know about Liberia. That moment is a historic moment for his wife too, who is from Jamaica, to be at that event. So you see, they say the blessing of others will rub on you. So Josh, we are blessing as rub on Clara, and this is a historical moment. Now coming back to the political sector let us move all politics from aside. Once your leader is at a historic event, you take pride in that, because Liberia was there represented, and this video was spread all across social media. Indeed, like
it's already gone wide. It's already gone wide
and stuff like that. So indeed, it is a fact that indeed, President we attended the ceremony, but attending the ceremony is just another event. But what did he do? Networking, engagement, and executing his mandate for the Liberian people to adequately represent Liberia locally and internationally. So he did that as part of his duty.
All right, that's a fair one indeed. He did that, and is it somebody say, oh, he just put the video out to because that is not his aide doing that. It came from the president's personal mobile device. Looking at the fact that he was the one, recording it. People would think that he just want to show off. He just want to tell people that you say I was not here, but
so what wrong with that?
I was here.
So what wrong with
that's
that?
the argument right now. That's the argument right now.
These are childish. These are childish issue. It's childish because one, President Weah left for that era. Indeed, there are a lot of media. I watch on different media outlets seeing presidents who arrived. So I'm not going to go on the Liberian media. The international media was reporting on different channels. They show when president arrived. I saw president from Uganda. I saw president from other countries when they arrived. So including President Weah, they had our knowledge is only set on with Liberian media and carry all down on our Liberian Facebook page. It's not happening. Go on the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and go on other websites, the BBC and other stuff. They quoted the whole event. Charlie can do with sports.
Yeah, the sports.
This person arrived at this time, dressed in this. They quoted everything.
Because as a matter of fact, there is a whole lineup of what happened at what time.
Yes.
At 5 minutes past 2, the Liberian president will enter. At 10 minutes past 2, the Nigerian president will enter, and the protocol is set. It's not our setting where The president already entered, and then EFF leader wants to enter, and he says, "No, why did they stop me from going to the signing ceremony?" But by right, when the president, who's the head of state, enters, all doors are shut. You cannot go in. In some instances, you can even come out. If you get out, you're not coming back in. So, but the protocol, it was like you put it, was colorful, it was beautiful, and I think President Weah, attended in his spirit. I know he felt, I'm here, I'm representing my country, and like you put it, was history for himself, for his wife, for Liberia to have been represented. For me, I was up watching early that morning because when the queen, the late queen, was kind of, you know giving that honor. Some of us are not even around here. We're not around here.
That was way in
1953. We're way in heaven. God thinking when to send us.
1953 in June.
To have watched that ceremony that morning, it was like, yeah, I'm seeing history being made, even though I'm not there, but via the power of technology. So that's a very good one. Now coming back to Liberia, there's a lot going on, bro. The issue of presidential, vice presidential picks. There were a lot of things in the media on the weekend as it relates to Mr. Cummings convincing, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence to go as his vice running mate. The Unity Party pushing to have her, even though she was not selected by Vice President Joseph Barker. They are still pushing. We understand there are negotiations on confirmed reports that the Unity Party wants her to give them her support. The Basel vote, you cannot shy that away. It's important. In fact, every county is important in these elections. And what we're gathering is that the Unity Party wants to protect the Senate Pro Tem seat for Senator Lawrence if she will give them their support, her support, and also be at the front table in helping Mr. Barker pick his cabinet. So that's major. And then Mr. Cummings, on the other hand, we know the Liberty Party remains divided. Senator Lawrence was suspended or removed by the Benedict Black, who's the chairman. We know where he went to. The Supreme Court. Bob Blood is still there. Senator Lawrence, Senator DeLong on one hand. Musa Belete has already given his portion of the Liberty Party to Mr. Cummings via the CPP, which they still hold. And then the court coming up with his strong decision. We recognize the leadership of Belete. On the back of that, Belete re-echoed to the National Elections Commission that, Yombly remains suspended she remained expelled or removed as political leader. All political activities of the party should be channeled through his Belete leadership. Now, it's stressed because people feel that at this point, this should be the point where all bygones are bygones. But if this is happening, where do we see the Liberty Party or the opposition black? Now, the crucial thing from the weekend is reports that Madame Salif is again playing mediating, between members of the Liberty Party, the ANC, upon request by Mr. Cummings that Madame Salif step in making sure that Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence can consider. And according to this report from their quarters, based on her intervention with the loan, the ability, the Cummings, and Senator Lawrence, it is clear that Senator Lawrence has accepted unconditionally to support or to go as running mate to Mr. Cummings. With this, it's a huge one indeed.
Yes, there is no exact science to solving political issue. Politics is about interest. It is not about how you think, how you see. It is about interest. We saw Senator Waller, Prince Johnson supporting the ruling party of George Weah. It was about interest. He wanted some ministries. You saw the Post and Telecommunication boss, Kura, who was fired. He's from that party. So it's about interest. When people give you support, they demand certain things. We saw Prince Johnson saying he will take out his support from George Weah because he was not giving the promises made. So it's about interest. It's not about how you think. I look at people like, oh, it is about country. Well, for politics within that sector, It is deadly. It is unpredictable. I mean, we can be fighting each other and cussing each other mad today, tomorrow. When we have our common interests at the table,
What we want.
we will forget about that thing. So I look at people. If you study political science, it tell you that you got to know how to play on the field, right? You got to know how to break that bridge or how to mend that fence and how to defend your party or your position. It's just like debate. This thing will be black. If I'm on the white side, I would debate that this thing is white.
It's white.
Just to convince the audience. So the person with the stronger mouth takes the day. So coming to that, you listen to Senator Yobikanga Lawrence. Despite all of the political bickering between the Liberty Party, the Martin Kula, the Musa Belite on one side, the Steve Zago and other people on one side, and so she wrote on her Facebook page. She said, "As a leader, we are open to talking with everyone."
Everybody.
In public or privately, as we have always done. Under the prevailing circumstances, our decision will be guided by our principles and vision in the best interest of our country. We will speak up soon. Indeed, there was a meeting held on Friday because Senator Lawrence was not present. And Mr. Kume requested the leadership of the Liberty Party and those who were present at the meeting, including the National Executive Committee of that party. You look at Martin Kula, you look at he's the National Secretary General, Ruki Berry, Vice Chairman for National for Administration, Weddy Powell, Vice Chairman for Political and Legislative Affairs. So there were hierarchies from the Liberty Party who attended that meeting. Indeed, they struck a point that yes, they are open for talk, but what are you bringing for? Do our agenda align? So what it is about interest, and now there is only Lawrence on that bench. So Tiawan Gonglo, Senator Lawrence, they are stakeholders. So who will you run to? Will you run to Cyrus Maggie or Nathan Charles or Henry Costa as a vice presidential candidate? So indeed, the fee has been open. It is important to note that politics is about interest. And now, like Senator Lawrence said, her decision will be based on the best interest of the country and the vision and principle of the political party of the ANC. So let's see what happens on the decision of Senator Yobikanga Lawrence to accept Alexander B. Cummings' decision. Because as you know, Mr. Cummings is now the political leader of the ANC. He's in the balance. Where can he go? Because he needs that vote. He needs somebody who will say, I will come with you to push you that support. The ANC now, they are looking for anything. And I tell everybody, there will be a runoff election. It will be between the opposition and the current government. And if the opposition don't amalgamate the forces together, definitely we'll see another new thing.
Like I was reading Mr. Bennett's page, he said yesterday, I will speak to the nation in the coming hours. All issues on the docket. 3 hours ago, he wrote again, there's always any fish in the pond. And then 30 minutes ago, he wrote, we played. We PLAYED. So these are things that are coming up. You know, they are not speaking publicly. They are writing. And I believe that when this pronouncement is made, game on for this election.
Yeah, I mean, they are asking that, hey, Yobikanga Lawrence come back to the party because she has to be from a political constituency. So something will happen. Because they were fighting against among each other. So either he dropped the charges, the case, and peace be.
Yeah, because she wants to go to that as a political leader, not just as a senator.
Yeah.
If I'm coming to be your vice running mate, I need to be as a political leader, not just a senator.
Yeah, because Kome will want to see that unity. Because already the same, because they are divided, and it's like it don't show sign for the opposition. So he wants that unity. So he also be pushing for that. That's what happened to them. You know, the situation with the Joseph Burger team that they went to court with the CPP. That whole framework document is about interest. We hope we'll talk to some of these.
What will you say just before we take this break? What will you say about, again, another game player, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? If this is true that, you know, from all indication, Madam Sirleaf met with them, whether separately or collectively, Madam Sirleaf again.
Yes. it is no doubt that former President Eddie Justice Sharif is a political messi.
Messi or
Okay,
Ronaldo.
political messi, and she did that. Eddie Justice Sharif had been in politics from the 80s. Turning over to when she was elected as senator, she refused that job to finance minister and other areas. So she knew the politics of Liberia, the political sector. It was President Sharif that even allowed or supported President George, who we are right now. And, in power.
At this stage of 2017, she was traveling around the country with President Weah. President Weah went to Lofa for road, Daddy Baby groundbreaking, and all of those things. So it shows that, like she said the last time when she was on Dr. Broplet's show, she said, "I'm not going to campaign for anybody. I'm all of that line. But if you come to me for my advice, I will." And I think this is right now playing out. But we will take this break. Joanne Prowse here will join us on the next segment. But the National Elections Commission has re-echoed. They've re-echoed that there will be no extension in the biometric voter registration process.
They said that in the first phase, for a few hours.
They've re-echoed. Let's see what happens. But this morning, Liberian time, the NEC boss addressed the nation on progress, made with the second phase of the BVR. Madam Deviata Lasana is the next chair. Mm-hmm.
And they're scraping audio in Liberia. Saturday night, I was disturbed listening at that audio from the Monrovia City, the former Monrovia City boss, including Sheikh Sakor, Waterspoon, and
Eugene Fagon, Chancellor Jerome Verdier.
It is scraping. We hope we have a time to discuss these things because it borders on national security.
Yes, that's it right there. But let's take this break with Madam Deviata Lasana. She's the chair of the National Elections Commission, addressing the nation earlier today on the process. That's the voter registration process. The second phase is up until, I think, the 11th of this month. So those 9 counties are currently, wrapping up as it relates to the biometric voter registration process. Let's take this. We will be right back.
It's ongoing at the NEC Data Center. The aim of this exercise is to remove all instances of multiple registration and other data cleansing processes, including the identification and removal of underage registrants from the final rule. That is, this process continues as part of the cleansing to remove underage registrants and then we produce the final rules. The Commission assures Liberians that the BVR system possesses the capacity to detect these instances during the deduplication and education exercise. The Commission has opened its doors to all observers and stakeholders, including political party commissions that are duly accredited by the NEC to observe the deduplication and education process. The Commission urges eligible Liberians in patients, counties of home, grandchildren, Lofa, Maryland, Riverside, and Simon, who are yet to register to do so before the end of the process on the 11th of May 2023. And I would say there will be no extension process beyond the 11th of May. On the last 2 days, that is the 10th, the centers will close at 7 p.m. instead of the regular 5 p.m. time. The NEC also continues to encourage users of the online personal data entry application as an optional means of entering would-be registrants' data. This will help to fast-track the completion of the registration at the registration centers where the top things will be captured. Speaking, I know issues. At the same time, the Commission agreed to reinstate early advice for Nigerians 18 years and above not to attempt to register for a month. It is a plan to get engaged in multiple registration, and all perpetrators will be caught by the BVR system and turned over to the Justice Ministry for prosecution. Besides, such multiple registrants will during the 10th of October 2023 general elections. With respect to the election financing, the government of Liberia has committed itself to fully funding the 10th of October 2023 elections. To this date, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning has disbursed the amount of $47,500,000 out of $53 million budgeted for fiscal years 2022 and 2023. Thursday, the 28th, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning special occasion at the National Steering Committee on Elections of his commitment of providing the balance of $5.5 million for the end of 2023. The National Steering Committee on Elections, NSTA, is a high-level stakeholders committee with the primary objective to bring all relevant government institutions and electoral stakeholders together to coordinate, collaborate, and provide timely and adequate support to help ensure credible, transparent, and inclusive electoral process.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or ride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Gentlemen, just number one, my Gibby County. I'll tell you something. When in 2018, you bring tribal politics, you are trying to bring dark cloud to the country. Those who are preaching tribal politics, correct? So we should reject them. I want to thank you for coming. I want to say to you, accept your endorsement. And 2023, by the grace of God, will be on the ballot paper, and we'll campaign, and we'll make sure there will be no second round. No second round. No second round. You know, the man said no second round because, you know, I cannot be a successful senator without a very important president. And with me and with President George Manuel, we are in the office as executive manager. I can promise my Gibeon that together we'll bring development to my Gibeon country. And we'll make my Gibeon country great. And now listen to me. I come to say something. I know some of my friends in government will be best. I know some of my friends in the government will be best. But let me tell you one thing. The reason most of the people in the government right now, some of them are very mean. They live in community, but I can guarantee you, when President we are winning, majority of those in the government will not go back in the government. When President we are winning, majority of those in the government will not go back in the government because they are very mean. They live in a community, they cannot give up to the people. And let the people believe the president. And Mr. President, you are listening to us. We are the masses. We are the downtrodden people. I was in the government before. Individuals who don't care for ourselves, don't keep them in your cabinet. Because those people, they're not good. When you give people a job, and the job is not your responsibility to do everything. This is the time. We know you can't change that now. Mr. President, you can't change that now. But majority of your government officials, they don't deserve to be your. No. Hello? A lot of federal government want to off. It will not go off. Because we are going to re-elect George Weah. We are going to re-elect President Weah. But we're not going to make sure that President Weah will bring most of the government people back. And I can tell most of them because I will be in the Senate. I will be in the Senate. Some of you want to fight me, you can continue to fight me. But I will be in the Senate. Majority of you will not return to the cabinet.
And I tell you, that's a strong one. The strong worded acceptance speech by former Presidential Affairs Minister Nathaniel Fallow McGill, and key there, he's now fronting for or pushing that some of his colleagues that are in the cabinet don't return to their jobs when President Weah is re-elected come October. And that is strong indeed. Nathan, you listen to McGill, and I just see you, nodding your head. And let's welcome Joanne Prowse here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You sound so dim.
Okay, let me. I should give it my.
Hangover.
How was your weekend? You guys, you're suffering from hangover?
I didn't suffer from hangover. I worked all weekend.
I hope so.
I'm not.
You're bad.
I'm not suffering from hangover. I worked all weekend.
You work all weekend.
Tired,
I know it's a tired Monday.
Time.
Yeah. So Nathan, you listen to McGill.
For me, I don't want to dignify the aspirant,
the downtrodden
statement,
right?
Because one, it is of mockery. Two, it is completely out of context in terms of he's want to represent his people. And talking about cabinet ministers, some of them are me. This is the same man who was very close to the president, or who is still close to the president, who ate with the president, dressed with him, hang out with the president. If you knew some people in the government or ministers are not giving back to the community, you had the opportunity, or you still have the opportunity, to let the president know, then to use that as political or campaign message. Also, it is not the responsibility of a minister to help his people. He's there to make policy and implement them on different ministries. So because I'm a minister for, that's why I encourage corruption and other things. Most of the lawmakers you listen to, people go to them, pay my children's school fee, I'm having wedding. So that's not what we want for our lawmakers to do. You cannot go to the Brooklyn City mayor and say, Mayor, please pay my school fee. That's not his business. That's not making him to be a very mean man. His earning is for his family. So the McGill man, when he was minister for at that time, he used to help because he wanted to. Everybody is different, but for you to say they are mean, and you don't know the circumstances in which the friends they are in, and the people they help. Not everybody who help people privately, or publicly. Some people do help people privately, building human capacity. I know of many people who have sent people all over the country for studies. Some of them are putting the money in that direction, but they use that on the campaign. If you knew that, you eat with the president, you talk to the president, you call the president anytime you want to. Why can't you tell the president these things? But they use that as campaign. For me, I think it was not an issue. It was not a news, and I don't want to give that credence because this is the same man who wants to represent our people. You need to improve the lives of your people. He's been doing that. I must admit, he's been doing Rose Project and all stuff, but he started lately when he decided to become a representative in Margibi County. He lost a senator. He lost miserably in Babolu County in previous election. Did he support his people? Was he mean to them in Babolu County? Did he provide more of these things to his people? So this is a man who is with the president. It's not a campaign message for me, and I think he has authority to say they will not come back, because guess what? The president has the right to fire them right now. And hire them. We got 6 or 7 more months to the election. If you know they say me, call your buddy. Hey buddy, Nathan, who the XYZ is me, fire him. And you know, because it is this same man who helped to structure the government. You and I know that people were going to me and giving names. So he also presented some names to the president for them to be appointed. So if you know that this person is not providing basic social services, is not helping the community, the downtrodden, you can call President Weah and say, hey, buddy, when you come from your trip to London, fire Nathan, he mean, and he can do that. So to use that as a campaign thing, it is not. We want to hear what you can do for our young people, providing a basic education. How can they unite? The pimping boys, the farmers. How can you improve the life? This is what we want to hear from a senator, setting that agenda.
A senator
Because if you don't,
aspiring.
yeah. So if your agenda is to fire, to not allow mean people to come back, so it means that people who will come back now, they should be just giving up money. Then you encourage a lot of honor hands and stuff like that. That's not the function of a minister, to be giving up money or helping people in community. No.
Join.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put it point blank. I feel like not Nathaniel McGay is making fun of the people. First of all, if by even inserting himself and calling himself a downtrodden, it's like a disrespect to those who are actually downtrodden. Nathaniel McGill still has close proximity to the president. With all of the time he spent within the government, there is almost nothing you can show to say this is what he did. Talking about most of his friends who are still in leadership are going to be mad at him because he's about to say something, as if he's going to say something that even makes sense. Talking, saying that these people are mean, are ministers or representatives supposed to be standing in front of their doors and handing out cash? It is their responsibilities, as you said previously, to empower their people. They are supposed to empower their people. They're not supposed
Implementing
to
government
hand out.
policies.
Exactly. By implementing those policies that are going to empower their people, it is their job. It's what they were there for. They're not supposed to get up in the morning and stand up and give handouts. Obviously, somebody can choose personally to give somebody help if they want to, but it's up to them. They're the one who's working for their money. I cannot get up in the morning and go make my high money and you expect me to just give it out to people. If I want to do it, I
and
do it.
and like I'm taking aback at what Nathan, you struck a very serious point. It's not everybody who gave and out there letting
And just,
people to know that
exactly,
giving,
just
I'm dishing up money. There are people who are silent givers.
but most of them do put the ads on social media because they have ulterior motives. Like he is, when he's giving, everybody know that he's giving, and it is only because he wants to be a senator. So he wants people to know that he's been doing it. That's exactly. There are a lot of people who are giving out there who've been helping other people, and not a day you even hear it in the media.
And it also brought my attention back, Nathan, to that audio from Abachi in his response to the U.S. ambassador when he said, they are getting huge money and the people are not benefiting, from what is being placed in the budget. And he had a strong rage talking about what I mean, lawmakers are doing, their counties, and I'm trying to see whether I can just get that audio.
Appropriated 65 million for itself in 2022 national budget. If he wanted correct information, he would have visited projects of senator representatives throughout the country. There's just one simple example. Go in my hand. What do we do? Our money we get, we spend it on our people. We build clinics, we buy drugs, we build schools, we build guest houses, etc., etc. That's
So you listen to that. The money we get we spend on our people. I mean, is it not troubling to hear the pro temp of the legislature, explaining what individual lawmakers are doing in their districts, their counties, other than telling the public or what they are doing as it relates to check and balances.
These are things that leads to extreme corruption within leadership, because at the end of the day, when everybody's looking up to you to give handouts, to do all of these things, and maybe your salary isn't reaching to that level, then you're going to start involving yourself in other things because you do not want to disappoint the people. You've already made yourself reach that high. The people are looking up to you extremely, and so they're expecting a certain something from you at the end of the day or at the end of the month. Everybody's expecting you, and you've made them see you in that position. And so, because when the month ends and you cannot come up to that extent, you have to start looking at other means. And so that's why a lot of our leaders, a lot of government officials have these different things that they were involved in that is harming the people instead of helping them, and they do not know that it's harming them because at the end of the day they were getting handouts from these people. But the thing is, they were working. At the end of the month, they have their own families, they have their own responsibilities. It's okay that they can make these means to empower their people, that they can, create job opportunities within their districts and other things. It's fine. But when they're expecting, or when they want the people, when the people are expecting them to give them handouts, then it means that there are
Sponsor the wedding.
exactly look at those kinds of things. Like you want to help somebody, you can, but if you make it a priority instead of actually doing the job you are there for, then you are actually not helping the people.
So how is this in line with McGill, Nathan? You listen to Abachi.
So I mean, it is a clear fight that indeed lawmakers do these things.
Mhm.
If you travel with them, you've been covering the legislature, it is true that they use the personal money to do these things, like Joanne said. But that's why we have projects should be put into the budget. So you shouldn't say, "Oh, this is we are project," or "This is what you mean, like the buffer
Chimos
Chimos
project.
project." When the money is put into the budget for development and stuff like that, then they use it to build a library, they use it to build a guest house, they use it to build XYZ, then it is a government project. But indeed, because of the situation in our country and because of past government who were corrupt and doing these things, like when I was coming up, I tell you, at that time, Edwin Snow, he was living on the ELVA community area there. Hundreds of people every Saturday morning would line up.
Yeah, I
People
know,
snow
I know
People
of
snow
that.
and it was happening with
From his
McGill even
house to the
before.
beach, the
Fine.
entire area would you see this huge line. I was around there and
Oh,
I
he was
saw
around
it.
there.
Yeah,
Okay. You
there
see,
was just like,
so-
especially Saturday
Saturday
mornings, then you
morning.
see the long queue
Queue.
all over the beach. People are just all over the place waiting for handouts.
handout. So they feel like we should continue on this kind of thing. And things are changing. You cannot empowering the people is important and making sure, because like Joanne said, you will start oh, I don't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
So okay, the other contract, give me a black and fiddle. And let me do this. But if you have some extra thing, you can do good. But I mean, it's not
And I think this is just a mentality with us as Liberians, because it's not just with government officials. Most families, when there is one person who's in a position, everybody
Yeah.
look up to you. And now, because everybody's looking up to you and making you seem as a god to them, you're not going to try to empower them so that they can help themselves, but you leave yourself in that position and just keep giving them
Keep
handouts.
giving.
You know, and until we can get rid of that particular mentality within ourselves, within our homes and our families, even if we get to higher position in leadership, we're still going to have that same thing within us. So it's something that we have to work on within ourselves first before we can even put ourselves out there to be leaders. As he's saying right now, that is a, you know, that is something that is within him. That is something that he believes that leaders are supposed to give out handouts. You know, it's supposed to just lend, give people money and give people rights and things. And so if he doesn't get rid of that and we put him within that position, he's not going to be doing the job he's supposed to be doing. Instead, he will take his salary and just give out money instead of doing something for the people within the district, actual things that can help them within the, you know, for the future. Because
Yeah.
by the time he's done and his term is over, they're not going to have anything to point to. Instead, they're going to say the senator who used to give us rights on Saturday mornings.
But my issue is we have about 5 months to election.
Exactly.
This man who helped to appoint or send recommendation to the president to put in these people to the government, this man is still in power. So what kind of assurance will you give the people to say in Josh we are next government? There will
Or
be
he didn't see
nobody.
that his friends
Oh.
were mean. With all
But
the time he was
he
there.
still has
He
the
didn't
power
see-
right now to say
He-
this person is mean.
And he's
Mr.
talking
We are
about,
fire them.
I'm
Fire-
saying something
fire.
that would make some of my friends. Can you imagine?
and
That's
and, and that's funny indeed. For me, I feel that like you said, it's mockery. And,
It is.
And if Abachi is talking about guest house, who owns the guest house? Is it a free guest house?
Right. Is it for the
funds
people?
coming
Is it
from
his
those
personal
guest
business?
houses? Are they going to towards
Projects.
Projects
helping
within the
projects?
district.
Are you the one who should be building clinics and hospital across Liberia? No, you are indirectly, because your job is to make law,
Love it.
is to provide for the budget, is to checkmate the spending agencies. I put 100,000 in the budget for this, for a school in Plebo.
Yeah.
You coming back for new monies, for the next budgetary period.
Okay.
What did you do with the 100,000?
Right. And you can
Travel to
show
those
it up and
areas,
say
yeah.
this thing happened
And-
on this person's leadership.
And it's sad that even most of these lawmakers don't even have, offices in their districts
no.
or counties. To say we have a county office that people there that monitor what we do
You
in
do
the
not have
county.
to go there every
And-
day, but at
and-
least a day of the week you're there. You have people
So-
working there that the people can go to, and
So Liberian people, these are people that are coming to you in October from their statements You can check them. Some of them been in government for a long time. Some of them are leaving. Some of them are coming back. Like, how many persons from the legislature? 73 from the lower house, 15 from the upper house are going to re-election.
Yeah, and
I mean, are going out of
going back to
re-election.
re-election.
So, and the last time I checked, from the Senate, I think just few of them returned. You know, a lot of them were kicked out, and today some of them are struggling to go back into the legislature. It's so funny, man.
And I tell you, Liberia, like people saying, when I saw that crowd in Mangibi County, you could tell that more is needed to be done. People are going to use finance campaign, use money to bring out the crowd. For me, I'm not moved by crowd. I saw that with Kennedy Sandy doing former presidential Kennedy doing the election. And when I saw that the Hillary mentor was controlling that Vanny Sherman. So crowd is deceitful for me doing elections. Say, oh, like I saw a couple of debates from the MyGive chat forum. Oh, he this, he that. Nukwe said nobody should elect people from the CDC. I mean, going back.
Supposed president we are, but not people on the CDC ticket.
So it's a whole big political fight in MyGive and other counties. We see that, but we need to elect people of important character, people who have been there. Not okay. If I do this, if I come to the investor, I took money from them with the hope that I will win, then I have to pay the people back. So it's like a loan, right? We saw what happened to other lawmakers and stuff like that. So you have to pay the money back. Then now it become a trouble. Then you start to discriminate your people. You used to give a right 50,000 Liberian dollars. So what happened in Maryland County, but for Chimas, they're dishing out money to other areas.
I was just coming to that. Councilor Gonglo took a shot at that this morning when he talked about the monetary situation in the country, the issue of the exchange rate, and how he's alleging that officials of government are putting out huge sum of Liberian dollars, devaluing what's going on.
Yeah,
he's pointed at the speaker taking huge money to the county in cash.
That is what I was saying initially. If they're giving out handouts, if they're giving out cash, they're not going to be doing what they're actually supposed to do. Just recently, there was a huge flooding in Maryland County. What did he do concerning that flooding? What did he do that the people? Because had he done something that would help them in the long term, create places for them to stay, help them with those kinds of things, at this point, they might not have been satisfied, because I know sometimes people would rather you give them cash. However, it would have been something we could point to after his term and say, this is what Buffer Chambers did when he was in leadership. It was something. But right now, as soon as those people go and use that money, it's done.
They're done with them.
And they are still going to have flooding in Maryland County.
Go and buy for far.
Yeah. So let's
king juice and stuff like that.
Let's take Councilor Tiawan Say Gonglo. He's one of those aspiring to be president of our country, and he was there this morning speaking about the financial situation of the country, the issue of money exchange, and all of that. Let's listen.
So that they can be able to be sending US dollars easily back to America, we have to cut that off and think more about Liberia, so that our currency can gain value. All the countries around us have single currency. Why are we having double currency here?
So my name is Emmanuel. I'm a Pulu and I work for Sky FM. And then last question. You're from the opposition community, and then you take into consideration the time political period, such allegation wouldn't be taken serious, especially people in government, if he is a propaganda. Do you have evidence to give the people that the government is, putting a lot of money on the market?
The evidence speaks for itself, like sunshine or rainfall. Just, I think last week, the Speaker of the House of Representatives went to Maryland, and he has stack of money. All on the Facebook, it's not hitting. The CDC officials are dumping millions of dollars. The news reported it's in the air. It's not hitting, and they have not denied that they are dumping money on the market. This is the truth. So on your question, when I'm president, we'll make sure that we'll not dump so much Liberian dollars on the market. We will make it.
You were talking about export. I mean, it brought a question to mind about Liberia being an import-based economy, Councilor Gonglo. That could be one of the factors too.
Well, this government came to power to change what existed. That is what attracted a lot of the voters. We want to change what exists today for hope. They didn't limit what changed. You know, they will institute, they will initiate. They wanted to change everything that was stopping Liberian people from being hopeful. That includes improving the productive capacity of the economy to generate more revenue by exporting. They haven't done so. Look, Liberia is not a country that I always say we are not naturally poor. We are naturally rich. When you look at the natural resource capacity of Liberia and compare Liberia with many countries in the world, we do not fall among the poorest countries of the world. What we have here is poverty of leadership. Because besides the iron ore, the gold, the diamond that we know, according to research, Liberian mineral, we haven't even tapped, we haven't touched the mineral capacity of Liberia.
Say Gonglo of Nimba County, Councilor at Law, and he's the PUL lawyer, right? Who always stay for journalists when they are in trouble. And you listen to him, Nathan. Mayor Shervin was on the market. Liberia is not exporting. We are still importing more, than what we export. The issue of the exchange rate, people hauling US dollars, people are infusing Liberian dollars reportedly on the market, whether they were printed and kept for this time. That's what he's saying. He's alleging that it's coming up at this time because the executive printed, money by authorization of the legislature. But it is now that it's seeing them on the market coming out. Is it because of elections? So you listen to him. I don't know what's your take. We're almost out of time.
Yes, indeed. Liberia inflation rate increased by 9.8% in December of last year. We experienced these things, and this is from index report, statistics index report. Indeed, it is a clear fact. Look at the current rate of our currency to US dollars. Look at the purchasing power of our Liberian dollars on the market. So indeed, there is a need for government, our people who in the financial sector, to put in place to reduce the inflation rate. Also, inflation rate that's also caused by the product you produce to the world market. So there are a whole lot of factors. Can we maximize these inflation rates?
Joanne, we're wrapping up with this.
Yeah. And as you were saying, also, like, there was until quite recently, there was a huge shortage of Liberian dollars in the market. People were even saying they were using, they were riding taxis, and drivers would tell them they didn't have change, or they would take a motorbike and they would say they didn't have change. And so because of that, people were even afraid to use their cash to go somewhere without, if you didn't have the exact amount on you. And then suddenly there is this huge cash overflow all over the place. Everybody has money. Or in fact, not everybody, but aspirants are sharing our cash suddenly, and it only shows that who was it, the money that was printed, where did it go? Were they keeping it until this time? Those are things we should even be looking at and considering, because these are the same people who are coming back to us to tell us to elect them again. And so we have trusted them in the past. We give them the opportunity to prove themselves, to work for us. All that they've shown has just been complete lies and, cheating and all of these things. And then suddenly they want to come back with all of this money now that is up there. And Liberian dollars right now, almost anybody. In fact, can you imagine if you send somebody $50 from here to tell you what they're supposed to do with $50?
What is supposed to do with $50?
That's only because the Liberian dollars does not have value over there. So even if they change it, it's not going to do much for them, honestly.
I don't know, and that's how we like to wrap it up on today's edition of the program, Diaspora Talk. Anthony, and that's Anthony Yebu is watching. He says, thanks for the good work. Emmanuel Bro is also saying that he's watching. Good afternoon. Always, I'm watching from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the USA. Emmanuel Bro, it rings a bell. Is it Emmanuel Bro who used to be with Star Radio? Ebro. James Davis is also watching. Scarly Collar is also watching. A lot of you out there, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or our KMTV official app. We'd like to say thanks for joining us on this edition of Diaspora Talk from this very, very hot Minnesota. It's really getting hot out there, and it's the weather we all been waiting for, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm glad it is.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm just hoping Minnesota do not go bad, because it's like a bipolar state.
Oh Lord, we love our state.
One day it's nice and warm, and then
before you get out though, it's
rainy
already
and cold.
changed. But until Wednesday, when we back here with a fresh edition of Diaspora Talk, all ears are open to the Alexander Benedict Cummins scam, with this political marriage between Cummins and Yombly is going to hold, as we are hearing from all quarters that Madam Salih's intervention is leading to a big catch. Until then, have yourself a wonderful time. We see you on Wednesday with another edition of the program Diaspora Talk. Let's say thanks to Park Liquor Outlets. If you're there, you have your business you want to advertise and promote, we are here at 5901 Brooklyn Boulevard, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, Suite 206. Just stop right over here, and then we can do just that for you. Have a godly and blessed Monday. Bye-bye.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference. When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV. In fact, the United Party is not cohesive. Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Joan Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out.